This is HuffPost Live. I'm Josh Steps. It's a conceit as ingenious as it is stupid. Make history funny by getting comics to narrate and reenact it with lip-syncing actors while drunk. And Drunk History has gone from a fledgling web series to a huge hit on Comedy Central, where it's just entered its 3rd season. Take a look.
I'm John Levinstein, and today we're going to be talking about Wayne Wheeler, the man responsible for Prohibition. Wayne Wheeler's family had a farmhand who was drunk, who was swinging a pitchfork, a hay fork, wildly. He said, "Mom, that farmhand's acting sloppy." The farmhand stabs Wayne Wheeler in the leg. Wayne Wheeler said, "Ouch." "Hey,
yeah.
What are you doing? You just stabbed me in the leg." "What, are you drunk, you farmhand?" Wayne Wheeler decided, alcohol's bad. I'm going to spend the rest of my life fighting against alcohol. And that's the formative event of Wayne Wheeler's life with, the formative event of Wayne Wheeler's life.
The show's creator and host, Derek Waters, joins me now.
Hey,
thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
It's a delight. I wasn't going to wear a jacket, and then you weren't wearing a jacket, and now I see that you are wearing a jacket, and I feel underdressed, so I feel like I should have been wearing a jacket in the first place.
You want to wear this?
Could I? Would you mind?
Of course,
well,
not
let's
at
just swap it out then. That's very...
Wait, have you ripped this?
Yeah, I'm not going to rip it.
I'm going to owe my mom so much money.
I might keep it, but I'm not going to rip it.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I also have to put down these then. Yeah.
So I give you this jacket, right?
Thank you.
I'm going to defend your introduction when you said that it's also stupid.
Well, it is stupid.
Okay. Well,
but I mean, a
check,
good way.
please.
But that's a good thing, right? I mean, it's creative.
Stupid's
it's ingenious.
never a good thing.
Yeah, it is. It's fun.
Really?
Oh, look, you've got shorter arms.
Thank you.
Can we?
If you stretch those arms.
I think they're being stretched right now as you look at them. Congratulations on the Emmy nomination.
Thank you very much.
Did you ever imagine when you started the show that you would be in running for an Emmy?
That's the only reason I started the show. I was like, this is an Emmy idea. There's no way we won't be nominated. No, of course not. It wasn't even thought of to be a show. It was just like, oh, that'll be funny to do once.
Funny little clips online.
Yeah.
And how did you get them up? You approached Will Ferrell and the Funny or Die people and said, here's this thing that I want to do?
I was just doing them on YouTube with my partner.
Sorry, I'm actually trying to get the buttons right.
I know. The more you're doing it, the more I miss that.
I want it to be really...
Because I look better with a jacket.
I think it's an uphill battle for me to look classy in this jacket.
Okay, well, I'll take it back.
See...
Yeah, it's an uphill battle. Yeah, but look, you got your own coat coming in.
Oh, I got my own coat coming. I don't need a coat. I don't need a coat.
Well, I like my coat back.
This makes me feel fat.
Oh, cool. Welcome to my life.
Thank you very much. We got a drink for you because we felt that it would be apt for you to have a beverage.
I don't drink anymore.
The only thing, thank you very much.
Of course.
The only thing that we could, I'm good. I don't.
Yeah, come on. You don't want to do the coat bit anymore.
I'll just be less formal.
All right.
The only thing that we had lying around to give you was tequila. Tequila with a slice of lime.
A slice.
And
do you put that right there?
Yep. So it doesn't just let it go in.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Huffington Post.
Yeah, or HuffPost Live as well. Both of them.
How about just live? I like to be thankful we're live.
What about calling it HuffPost Live?
It's
sort of an exhortation. It's like it's an order. It's an instruction from Ariana. HuffPost Live.
Yeah.
Great. Why not? How did so once you started making these things, then you start roping in people to do the acting in these very funny reenactments where basically they're just they're playing to your voice and to the voice of the other person who's describing the historical thing. Did this come to you while drunk?
Yeah, well, my friend Jake Johnson, great actor, New Girl, and many great movies. We were both struggling actors, and we were having a couple drinks one night, and he was telling me a story about the great Otis Redding, and this story was so sincere, but I just didn't believe it, and I just kept picturing Otis Redding moving his lips, but also like shaking his head, you know, like there's no way. And so I thought it'd be really cool to reenact a subject that isn't really, you know, told in an interesting way. Rarely it's ever interesting, history, you know. I find it interesting, but it's hard to like get people interested in it. So I just thought getting someone drunk and telling a true story and having it acted out might make it interesting.
And how do the people who you have on know so much about history? What kind of rigorous training do you put them through?
Well, some of them already know the stories, and then sometimes I'll send them 4 that I know we're doing that season, and then they'll pick. Because I never want it to feel like homework where they have to learn something they don't care about.
Yeah, right.
Every narrator has to care about the story, and that's really where it sort of comes through, is like frustrated passion. Like, I love when someone is passionate about anything, you know, whether you believe it or not. When you're watching someone who believes in something that they say, it's interesting,
Yeah.
you know?
And the thing I like about the show is that there's a fine line between being tipsy and being sloppy.
Yes.
Right. And the drunkenness never seems to be hammed up. Quite often when people are doing drunk, they'll play drunk. But it really feels like the guests are actually fighting against their own insobriety.
Yeah.
In an authentic way. Is there a way of managing the alcohol intake to ensure that you hit that sweet spot?
Well, editing, definitely, because the first 2 hours is all the stuff that we won't use. But any human being with alcohol in front of a camera is going to try to ham it up a little bit. And so you have to just know that going in and let that all get out. And then I don't really go for like, oh, they're so drunk, this is great. It's like, oh, they're such in a place in their mind where they don't care about the cameras. They don't care about anything except telling me this story.
How long does that take, usually?
7 hours.
It doesn't take 7 hours.
Yes, it does.
You're with them for 7 hours.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
I just impressed you.
You
Cheers.
just impressed me a lot.
Wow.
Yeah, cheers to that.
I don't know if it's
have you had
impressive when you really think about it.
Well, have you had to cut people off? Or does there come a point at which, like, that you're like, okay, well, you're so drunk now that you're becoming incoherent,
That's
and
a no.
we've run out of time.
No negativity. You can't do that. The word no isn't allowed. Because once you say no, then they feel like they're doing a bad job.
Will Ferrell was just on playing Roald Dahl, one of my favorite childhood writers. I want to take a quick look at that. Here it is.
Let's
Do we have
take
that?
a
Apparently
look.
not. We will
Let's
have that.
pretend that we watched it. It was great.
Well, we do have it now? Okay, great. Let's take a look.
Roald Dahl was a fighter pilot for the RAF, the Royal Air Force. And he loved fighting them Nazis. And he's like, oh, this is great. And so he had to go and fly to a base in the desert. He ran out of gas. He hit the ground at 75 miles an hour, cracked his skull. He had to drag himself out of the plane before the gas tanks exploded. So he pretty much was like invalided out of the Royal Air Force. But then a famous author, C.S. Forster, wanted to interview him about his crash. Dahl was like, okay, you know what? My mind's all spotty. Let me just write down some notes for you.
As I mentioned, Will is one of the executive producers of the show as well.
That is true.
How important has his involvement been?
Well, it's Will Ferrell. You know, you got that stamp of approval that, like, oh, one of the funniest guys ever is saying this is funny too.
Even just watching that short little clip of like how he's eating the chicken wing or whatever it is that he's eating.
Anything he can do.
Anything,
There's
anything.
people that just can do anything and it's funny.
Yeah. We love to bring in fans, and we have a fan who wants to ask a question of you. Abbas is a stand-up comedian. Abbas, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you guys doing?
Great.
Real good. Better now. Love your hair.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's really cool.
Did you help yourself to a tequila, Abbas?
No, I don't drink because I'm Muslim, so that that interferes with the whole drinking.
What a bummer.
Yeah.
What's your question, buddy?
My question is, so there are a lot of content creators on the web, much like you were at one point, putting things up on YouTube, and I wanted to sort of know before the whole jacket conversation took off, you were about to tell us the secret of taking your idea to the next step. Once it's on YouTube, how do you get it in front of major networks and get it picked up?
It was just something that I continued, I'm very stubborn of like, no, I know this is going to lead to something, and just kept making them. We made 5 or 6 of them online with no money, and just because it was fun. And so it took like 3 years before it was on HBO for a little bit with Funny or Die. We did 2 episodes for that. So, my advice is if you're doing something that you love, you just keep doing it no matter what the result is. And, your instinct will tell you if you should keep going or not. But I don't think there's a secret except never do something you don't want to do, If you're making something you like and you believe in, good things will happen.
What do you make of what's happened technologically, just in terms of the lowering of the bars of entry into creative pursuits? Like back in, I mean, even just 10 years ago, 20 years ago, you wouldn't have, I mean, you would have, in order to get this show done, you would have had to go cap in hand to a bunch of network executives, not having been able to afford shooting anything,
Right.
not having had a platform like YouTube to be able to put it out there and see if anyone actually cares about it. And everyone would have gone, are you crazy? Are you high? This show is never going to work.
Exactly. Yeah, and without, I mean, there's never been a better time to make your own stuff. I mean, there's 8 million places to put it now. It's just coming up with the good idea. So yeah, without the internet, nobody would have, without proof of this concept, there's no way anyone would say like, yeah, let's try it.
Yeah, I feel like anyone today who is trying to start out in a creative field and is saying, oh, it's just so hard to break in, there are no opportunities, has missed the past 5 to 10 years of what's happened online.
Yeah, there's never been a better time.
How do you get the balance right with historical accuracy? Do you care about historical
100%.
accuracy? Do you have fact checkers or things like
We
what happens
have
if someone...
researchers that are all UCLA PhD history majors.
Is that true?
100%.
Wow.
So every date in a story, every name are the only things I'll make sure that people get on point. But the story itself are all fact checked. It's just the dialogue is, a little off.
Made up, completely invented. Were you a history buff initially? Why history? Why, of all of the various things that you could do with drunk people?
Well,
why
like
history?
I said, I think it's usually. I had a really great history teacher, Mr. Stang, who had an ability to humanize historical figures, which I think is rare. Usually you're taught like, oh, this person was so great. Like, yeah, they were great, but let's remember they're also human. So I just thought history is a perfect example of something that, let's remember that all these great people are just like you and I,
Have you had conversations about expanding it outside of history? I mean, I'm thinking you could do contemporary news. You could do the British PM and the pig. You could do,
we have a whole episode about journalism this year.
Cool.
Yeah, and we did last night with spies. So yeah.
We're also on Periscope, and people are watching this on Periscope as well as watching on HuffPost Live.
Periscope.
We were just talking. We were just waxing lyrical about how many opportunities there are and new platforms for people to put their creative stuff out there.
Is that
and Periscope is one of them?
Okay.
Isn't it? Why do you?
I don't know.
Why are you bemoaning
I don't know.
Periscope?
I don't know. I like when things are like, oh, I got this idea. This is how it's gonna go. Periscope's another like selfie. It's a extended, selfie.
It can be when abused.
I think it's a great thing. Like, hey, I'm going to this wedding and Grandma Nini can't make it. Luckily, she's got Periscope.
Well, Grandma Nini doesn't have Periscope. Let's face it.
She's dead. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
But the idea of you wanting to bring somebody that can't come to the event, I think is great.
Yeah.
What do I know? I don't know anything.
Well, you know something. You got up a show that started online.
True.
Now it's a big hit. Now you're getting nominated for Emmys.
I didn't see that coming.
No. But here's the thing about Periscope. I think that at the moment it's in such a fledgling stage. Live video streaming, on the whole, is at such a fledgling stage that it's difficult to know exactly where it's going to go. And like at the dawn of every technology, people are misusing it and abusing it. You know, when Twitter started, the whole punchline was, everyone's just like tweeting about what they had for breakfast. Well, now it's launching revolutions in the Middle East and so on.
And that's what I think Periscope will revolutionize, is like, I'm at this insane event, this person is being hurt in this sort of way, this needs to be documented. I think that's where...
And I think you'll start seeing shows, much like a little podcast that I do, which we stream on Periscope, much like the fact that we stream this on Periscope, which are actually entertaining content in their own right, one hopes. Anyway,
and we don't have any way of tracking people on TV anymore. Periscope's an example of you can see exactly how many people are interested.
Yeah, that's right. So one fan on Periscope says, when is Stoned History coming out?
19 never. And I'll tell you why. Alcohol gives you false confidence, and there's a stumblingness that is enjoyable for everyone. Stoned, every story would be about the narrator. There are theories about the subject, and it would be a 3-hour-long show. That's why.
Do you not like the impact of weed?
Not for the show. No.
But I mean, just personally, it's not a drug. It sounds like it's not a drug of choice for you.
I'd rather watch Planet Earth than hear about it.
I'm not quite sure I follow.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good. How's the tequila?
It's cheap.
Probably is, isn't it?
Yeah.
What brand was the tequila? Do we know? We'll find out what brand it was.
I think it's Zima, actually.
It's probably okay. On Twitter, Melanie Flaherty asks, what's the nastiest drink a guest has made you share?
Oh, man, how do I say this word? I think it's called, it's like that thing.
Vodka?
Thank you. No, Freda Blanca, or it's like for your stomach. They always say, like, oh, drink this. It like helps with digestion.
Freda Blanca?
I said I don't know the name of it. So
good.
I'm saying,
Yeah.
does that ring a bell?
No, not really, but then I don't know. But it will complicate our purchasing of the liquor, not knowing the name of it.
Okay, well, yeah. Just don't get anything you can't pronounce.
Good. How about the lip syncing? It's so spot on, especially when there's someone as funny as Will Ferrell, where they're kind of channeling the motivation or the sentiment that might be behind the person who's actually doing the narrating, and then taking it in a completely different direction and putting a funny spin on it. How much directorial input do you have on that?
All of it, you know. I mean, my goal is always to I want people to be themselves, but I also always say, you know, the more sincere you play it, I think the funnier the joke is, you know, taking ridiculousness seriously.
Did you do improv or stand-up or anything?
Yeah, both. I started with Second City in Toronto and did stand-up when I first moved to LA, and did Second City and UCB.
Do you miss that? Do you like live? Do you like the immediacy of having a live audience?
I love it. I still perform, but I wish I was doing it more.
Yeah.
But I also don't miss, you know, sending MySpace messages to get people to come to my improv show. I don't miss that part.
Yeah.
But I do miss performing live.
Fortunately, you wouldn't be using MySpace anymore.
No, I still have it.
Really? You're the one. Good for you.
Thanks.
Is anyone else there?
No, yeah, just a couple of my neighbors.
From Baltimore?
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Another Periscope question is coming through. Who do you really want to guest on the show?
Oh, man. I have so many dreams. Bill Murray, that would blow my mind.
Have you asked?
You know he doesn't have a phone number?
No.
He has a pager, so you have to call the page. This is real. He doesn't have anyone represent him.
That's
so you
so
have to
Bill
call
Murray.
this number, and if he likes your message, he'll call you back.
Right.
I've tried 3 times.
Okay. Yeah, it strikes me as the kind of thing that he might be up for doing. You just have to
Maybe.
get him on the right day.
I met him at Sundance in 2010 when Drunk History won for Best American Short Film, which that happened.
It's amazing.
And I tried to explain it to him, and he was like, "It's very hard to play drunk." And I was like, "No, you wouldn't be drunk. You'd be lip syncing." I'm like, my hero doesn't even understand it. But yeah, Bill Murray, and I'm a big Pearl Jam fan, so Eddie Vedder, that would be my favorite.
Yeah, that'd be great. What's next? Do you have other little irons in the fire that you're plotting behind the scenes?
Yeah, a new TV show I'm working on. I mean, this thing, we're still editing season 3. We're still shooting season 3. So it's a 13-month job, you know?
Yeah.
So it doesn't stop, but I'm glad. I was unemployed for a long time. So
Yeah, it's nice having a gig, isn't it?
it's nice to work.
Yeah. Derek, great to talk to you. Thanks so much
Yeah,
for being on
thanks for
HuffPost
having
Live.
me.
Come back anytime.
Anytime?
Well, obviously only when we're on the air.
All right, I'm going to stay here.
Yeah. You can just stay. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
But don't come back in the middle of the night when studios close
that's
down.
weird.
It's
That's
weird.
weird. I'll Periscope in the middle of the night.
Excellent. Do it.
Me touching myself. I'll be doing live. This is how you do it, too, right?
That's how you do it?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. How you do what?
Periscope. Cheers.
New season of the Emmy-nominated Drunk History is Tuesdays, 10:30 p.m. on Comedy Central. Don't go away.